Yo, what's good, UBL? Your boy Proph Da Menace here, Team Greenlight all motherfucking day. You already know what the fuck it is. Yeah, I want to do a quick recap on the Justice J, Carlos Rios, aka Cime battle. Off the back, in the bloggers like shit in the comments, this nigga Justice J is bitching, saying that Carlos' shit was all pre-written because he wanted to battle him a day prior. That's not true. Carlos said that a few of the wrestling bars were, pre-written just to throw on there because Jay is the one that made the amount of bars for the battle. He said he wanted to do one round unlimited, and I was like, what's unlimited? You're gonna be writing back and forth all day? That's crazy. Like, niggas, who got time for that shit? And I feel like after the first few bars and shit, then everything else was written on the spot. And some of them were filler, like some of the first ones were filler because Jay wrote a lot of bars and shit there, so Carlos just did it, without taking mad time to respond. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's that. Just to touch up on that note, so niggas don't think niggas are cheerleading. Nobody following you, Jay. Nobody following you. Nobody being your fan. None of that bullshit that you think you on, boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas is real over here. Like, I'm a man. I ain't gonna lie. I'll tell you nothing that ain't real, son. Alright, I'll tell you that off the back, my nigga. But I told you, Jay, you did your thing, and, you came out swinging. I didn't say you got murdered. I didn't say this nigga's whack. I didn't say nothing like that. I said you did your thing, and that's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? It's all that matters. But, yeah, yeah. Now, on the battle note, fucking, Jay came out, he did direct a lot of stuff. Like, I just saw, Brandon's video post, LKO's video post, and he did direct a lot of stuff directly to Carlos, like right away, to Cime right off the back. They mentioned the names, and a lot of it was high. There was some bars that I thought were pretty good. I was reading it, and I was like, oh, this is pretty good. Like, I wanted to know what Carlos was going to come with right off the back. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, that's pretty good for something he just freestyle, key style, whatever you want to call it, right there on the spot. It was pretty good. But yeah. Like, I felt like most of the time he was more like talking to me because I did a few battles in the group, or maybe I'm starting up more of a buzz that Carlos being the newcomer, Cime being the newcomer, coming in the group, repping us, repping Team Greenlight, and I felt like he directed more of the battle towards me and Reg, because like I knew one of the bars, like one of the two bar sets was directed at me and Reg, talking about Reg co-signing me or some shit, or something about me. I don't know what he said. I can't remember off the top of my head, but, it was like, I didn't say it was bad, but I felt like he was going at me more, like he was battling me more than him. Yeah, he had the mustache and the probably cut your mom's leg when she walked by line, and that was pretty good. Like, as being like a joke factor, that was good, and I'm not gonna dog him for it and say that he didn't come original and that he didn't do his thing. I'm not gonna say none of that. Like, I acknowledge him for doing the right thing, doing what he had to do to win, or try to win whatever, you know what I'm saying? Especially for it being on the spot battle where he just wrote the shit on the spot. He was writing. He did underestimate Carlos a lot because he felt like when you accumulate a certain amount of wins under your belt and you've been doing it for a long time and you've been in the group and he has a name, he has an image to uphold, whatever. He battled a lot of cats and he like already doubted Carlos off the back, like, oh, you whack, you can't beat me, like, I want top tier dudes, or that's it, you ain't doing shit, I can't be battling you peons, shit like that, and I didn't like that. Like, I was hyping Carlos up, because that's my mans, of course I'm going to hype him up, the same way Reg was co-signing me, I was co-signing him, you know what I'm saying, to try to do what he had to do. I had to battle with Purple Oak off the back, I had to battle with LK off the back, you know what I'm saying, and I took the battle with JR Felony off the back. Like, niggas, like, wanted to do it. I was like, I got it. I'm here. I'll do it. Like, I didn't turn nobody down. And I felt like Justice, where he was dodging niggas a lot. He was dodging niggas a lot. Like, he was talking about Kobe. Oh, Kobe's, dodging me. Yeah, Kobe was ducking you, my nigga. Like, when it came down to it, if you really want to put it into battle perspective, and, Kobe, I'm sorry I had to say this, but this nigga Jay is killing you because his comments are crazy. Like, he's talking that shit and he's backing it up. You ain't responding. Like, yeah, you had a little video and stuff, but at the same time, just doing one little video didn't really put you where you needed to be as far as like fighting for yourself. You know, so on that he got you. So if you wanted to like show him out on something else that wasn't battle, then you lost. I just try to say you lost. You know, so but that's why Carlos jumped in like to like try to battle you and shit because you talk mad shit. Oh yeah, I'm nice. I don't want whatever. And then during my battle with Brandon, you're like in the comments, you're like, oh, so I guess I won this battle. Like thinking you're above everybody. You got to get that thing out your head and be on a regular perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like, but whatever. That's on his verse, Justice's verse. Now on the Carlos's verse, he had like niggas is right. Like some of the lines weren't directed to Jay, which could have cost him some points. Like even though the wrestling bar flips were fucking crazy and mad intricate, like they weren't directed to Jay. So for that, I'll give Jay the points. Like for that, you know, he came at Carlos's head in the beginning, and then towards the end fell off. Like Brandon, like LKO said, like towards the end, they didn't really have the finishing bars they needed to both the wow factor, as you would say, like to finish it off hard and just hit niggas in the head. Like that's it. It became more of a, you know, just a debatable battle in between. Like it was like beginning of the battle, if you want to put it on who came in, whose head first, whatever. Justice J got it on that perspective. Then after that, it was like Carlos came back and he just boosted up everything. You know, the name flips, the picture, the personals, that shit. Like that's personal. The picture, that shit was funny. That's funny. Like the Hollywood Dawn show with the training, that shit was hilarious. Like I'm not even gonna lie, that was very original and unique, and that shit was hot. And I don't know. I guess they can judge it either way. You know, I gave it to Carlos overall for his creativity, but it was like a 2-to-1 factor, like kind of thing. It was, I know it was 1 round, but a 2-to-1 if you would judge it that way, like because his creativity, Carlos' creativity was well rounded. His bars were crazy. You know what I'm saying? Watching the video again with LKO, he said that when you battle a nigga, if you want to just spit straight raw bars and shit, save that for a cipher. Save that for a cipher, and you going for niggas' head in a cipher, that's what it is, in a cipher. But when you're trying to have a battle, a written pre-made battle, and you want to say stuff, sometimes you got to flip niggas' shit around, and you got to talk about them. That was like the me and Perp battle. Like, I felt like I talked about him more, and the niggas just have bars for me, so we'll get into that, but that was the debatable thing about it. Same thing with me and LKO, except I have mad name flips for him, and the creativity of mine was a little better, but he had the same thing. He had the same schemes, like he had the same amount of schemes. He had a couple name flips, you know, directed stuff towards me. So that was another debatable battle. Like it's not like the battles weren't good, but on this battle, I felt like, you know, it's more of a crying game right now. Like Justice wants to go and sit there, like, oh yeah, y'all pre-wrote for me, right? Carlos pre-wrote for me, and you know whatnot. Like he didn't pre-write for you. He used a couple extra bars in the beginning because he didn't know how much you were gonna say, you know. But on a regular note, he, you know, just wrote when you wrote. When you were writing, he was writing. He didn't prepare nothing. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know it until I seen it there. I seen it, like, that's hot. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. But yeah, like I said, I gave it to Carlos 2-1 only because of that, not because he's my man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Justice was really original, and I like most of the shit he said. You know, it was really good. I didn't like that he was coming at me too much and coming at Reg too much when it wasn't our battle. It's not like me going like battling Jay or battling somebody else and all of a sudden dissing the TBU or dissing whoever else is in there. Like that's stupid. Or like West Coast Dredd said, the old heads, whatever you want to call it. Like I'm gonna battle Jay and I'm gonna diss Dredd in the back. Like why would I do that? That's so stupid. Like, talk about us. We battling. Don't worry about what the niggas behind me are doing or the other niggas. Just we battling. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, like I said, shout out to the UBL. Shout out to Justice J. You do your thing. Shout out to Carlos Simrios. You did your thing. Shout out to Team Greenlight, TBU, the rest of the groups in there. And yeah, I'll see you niggas soon. Peace.